Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. Want to improve your organization's customer service? Looking for insider tips to knock your customer socks off? Then you're in the right place. Here's your host, Yannick Grant.
Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. On today's episode, our guest is Jose Herrera. Jose is the CEO and co-founder of Horatio, a customer experience company for today's fast-growing brands. Jose sets the strategic vision of Horatio and leads all growth, sales, and marketing efforts for the company. Prior to founding Horatio, Jose was a vice president at Morgan Stanley, overseeing the Latin American investment management institutional sales group. Originally hailing from the Dominican Republic, Jose and his two co-founders, Alex Ross and Jared Karson, were inspired to create a company that provides tech-enabled customer support for North America's biggest brands, while also creating opportunities locally on Jose's native island. In 2021, Jose was named by Forbes Magazine on the next 1,000 list of today's entrepreneurs, redefining the American dream. So without further delay, sit back, plug your earphones in, and let's jump right into this conversation with Jose. Welcome, Jose.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today, Yannick.
Awesome. It's good to have you on our show. So we always like to start off, Jose, by giving our guests an opportunity to share with us, in their own words, a little bit about their journey and how they got to where they are today. So could you share that with us?
Definitely. So I grew up in the Dominican Republic and I pursued my undergraduate career in the United States. And after I graduated from college, I spent almost 10 years in the financial services industry. And I then pursued my MBA at Columbia Business School, which is where I met my co-founders, Alex and Jared. And after we graduated from Columbia Business School, we started Horatio as a way for us to, number one, generate meaningful job opportunities and improve the working conditions of the Dominican Republic, which is where I grew up, and also redefine what it means to provide an amazing customer experience working with some of the fastest growing e-commerce companies in the world.
All right. So could you share with us a little bit about Horatio and, what Horatio does? What are some of the brands that you support? And is it industry specific or do you cut across all different industries?
Sure. So Horatio mainly provides omni-channel customer support across chat, email, SMS, and social platforms. And we integrate the latest technologies to provide that service on behalf of our customers. We provide dedicated teams that are proud to represent your brand values and voice. We don't share resources between brands and clients. And our main expertise is working with e-commerce companies across all industries within e-commerce. We also work with financial technology companies and cryptocurrency companies, as well as health tech. So I would say our main expertise is providing exceptional omni-channel customer support for all of these different industries.
All right, amazing. Now, one of the things that your website says is that you help your customers to improve response time. And your one of the statements on your website is our average first response time is 2 hours. Can you share with us how customers' expectations have changed, I would say, over the last maybe 2 to 3 years, especially since the pandemic? What are customers' expectations now in terms of a company or a brand's response time?
Definitely. And I think that the pandemic definitely accelerated customers' expectations and their needs, primarily through social media and live chat. That is the simplest way to answer customer inquiries and questions. And it's very important for you to understand the value that comes with being able to provide fast responses to your customers, because there's a direct correlation between how quickly you get back to your customers and your customer satisfaction. And we all know that providing an amazing customer experience generates long-term value for the enterprise and for your company at the end of the day. So the way that we do this is building out a framework that can allow us to quickly understand what the brand value and their proposition is for their customers, and then dive deeper into how can we seamlessly answer any potential customer inquiry across any platform. And the way that we do that is, number one, learn the brand inside out, and integrate the latest technologies that can make our team more efficient. So a lot of people think that artificial intelligence is going to replace humans. In our experience, artificial intelligence actually helps our team be much more efficient, and we integrate different tools to automate those easy questions that can be answered by AI, and then allow our team to focus on those more complex issues that actually require their expertise and their knowledge to go above and beyond and provide an amazing customer experience. So we use a lot of software. Obviously, Gorgeous is one of our biggest partners, and we love using that tool to automate a lot of things and to also derive a lot of interesting data and analytics that can make our team even more efficient as time goes by. And then also incorporating some other interesting technological tools that can allow us to overall provide an exceptional experience without compromising those response times that you outlined.
All right, sounds perfect. So response time is critical to the customer's experience. What are maybe 2 or 3 other key performance indicators, especially seeing that that's something that your company consistently tries to deliver through on the brands that you represent, that you think are critical for a company to truly attract customers that will remain loyal to them?
I think surprising and delighting your customers throughout the customer experience journey is critical to create loyalty and to also build referrals. Nowadays, marketing expenses particularly for e-commerce companies is extremely high. And I think that by delighting and surprising your customers, whether it's sending an additional product for them to try, or providing them an extra coupon or discount for their families or relatives to also try the product, like those are things that make the customers very happy and loyal to the brand. And obviously, over communicating goes a long way. Mm-hmm. So I think that a lot of our customers, a lot of customers nowadays, they love when the company provides, tracking information and feedback as to where is the order, right? Because after a while, if you don't receive your product, right, you grow frustrated, and when you contact the brand, you're already a little bit annoyed with the experience. So over communicating and being proactive instead of reactive is the way that we like to think about things, and ensure that the organizations that we work with always have the customer experience journey top of mind across all the divisions within the company. Because in our experience, customer experience is not only the responsibility of the customer experience department, it's the responsibility of everyone across the company.
Amazing. So there are 2 things you said a while ago that truly resonate with me. One was over communicating, because I tend to say it quite a bit. I think a lot of brands forget that, or they think that customers know exactly what's going to happen. A lot of times we don't know what's happening on the back end in your organization, and it's critical for you to not just communicate something one time, but for you to communicate it more than one time, so that the repetition, is there. At some point, we should be able to get the message or the information that you're trying to get across. So I thought that was brilliant that you said over communicate, because I think it's so important for you to over communicate. Well, it's way better than under communicating, for sure.
Yes, definitely. And I actually had an example of this that happened to me yesterday. I purchased a product a couple weeks ago, and they were very good about over communicating and telling me that the package was on its way, that the package was set to be delivered on a particular day. But then all of a sudden, the package was not delivered, and no one communicated that to me. And I was expecting to receive that package. So when I got to the mailing room and I saw that the package is not there, I had to go into the system, and I noticed that it was incorrectly delivered to someone else, and the brand didn't catch that. And so my experience already is impacted by this negative situation that I had. And then I reach out to the company, and I get an automated response back from the brand saying, we have a huge backlog. We're sorry, we'll get back to you within 72 hours, right? So that already ruined my perception of that brand, and I will probably not buy from them again, because now I have to wait 72 hours to get a response, right? So I think it's very important that you have the right data set to make those decisions and to be able to proactively reach out to your customers and understand what's happening and how can things break throughout the entire process of shipping an order, right? So I think a lot of companies haven't put a lot of focus on understanding the data that comes from customer experience. I think they've placed a lot more emphasis on other areas of the business, but I think that really understanding the data that you can derive from your customer experience team and figuring out how you can continue to make improvements so that you improve that first response time, that you increase that average response time, and that your overall satisfaction score continues to increase is critical for the long-term stability and growth of any enterprise or any brand, right?
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree, Jose. As it relates to customer satisfaction, what are your thoughts on, there's a author that I follow for many years. His name is Jeffrey Gitomer, and he wrote a book. But one of the things he said in the book was customer satisfaction does not guarantee loyalty. Like you do a lot of customer satisfaction scores for organizations, and I'm sure there's certain key indicators that will determine whether or not a company has a high CSAT score, as you mentioned, communicating, response time, fulfilling promises, and many other, I'm sure, indicators that will help to give you a really good CSAT score. But in your opinion, do you think if your satisfaction score is high, that guarantees the customer will remain loyal to you?
Yes, in our experience and with the brands that we've worked with, we have noticed that having an increased customer satisfaction score does lead to repeat purchases and overall loyalty. And obviously that also results in client referrals. So I think that it's very important to understand how to actually use the CSAT metric, because obviously it depends on the type of customer. And you have to really understand like when you should actually rely on CSAT and when you should not use it. And so in our experience, it's very important, and it leads to, at least from what we've seen, providing having an amazing CSAT score does result in at least a 30% increase in customer loyalty and engagement with the brands that we've worked with, and that's what we've seen in terms of like conversion. So I think it all depends on a lot of different factors, but overall, we've seen that it does lead to an increase in loyalty and additional revenue generating opportunities for the brands, right? So I think it does depend on how you measure it and what industry you're in. Of course, if your product is not unique, then that's definitely a different metric, right? But I think that if you have an interesting value proposition and your product is unique and you provide amazing experience, then it should lead to an increase in customer lifetime value.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you for sharing. Now, could you share with us, Jose, what's the one online resource, tool, website, or app that you absolutely can't live without in your business?
Yes, I'm a big user of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of the biggest tools that I use to network and stay in touch with my network. That is one tool that I check and use every day to communicate with prospects and potential partners. And I also am part of an organization called Entrepreneur Organization, or EO, which has been an invaluable network for me to bounce off ideas outside of a business setting. And that has allowed me to think strategically about things that I normally wouldn't think about when running this business.
All right. Sounds good. And could you also share with our listeners maybe one or two books that have had the biggest impact on you? It could be a book that you read recently, or maybe one that you read a very long time ago, but it still has a very big impact on you.
Yes, and I think my favorite book, my favorite business book, is Good to Great by Jim Collins. I think it's very cliche, but I think that the overall conclusion of that book is find self-motivating people that can lead on your behalf, so that you don't have to like micromanage. And I think that is something that we have top of mind here at Horatio, is to find people that are really driven to succeed and that we can count on to lead and continue to carry our culture. So that's typically how we think about when running this business is being surrounded by amazing individuals and letting them grow and lead their teams.
Okay. All right. Now, could you also share with us maybe one or two emerging trends that you see in customer experience for 2022? and beyond? Anything that you think is coming up that you think brands need to definitely pay attention to?
Yes, I think that one of the biggest trends that we've noticed over the past couple of months is there's been a growth in terms of personalization of your support interactions. I think that over the past couple of years, we've relied a lot on canned responses and macros, and we've also relied on on chatbot automation and a lot of templates, and that has cost the brands a lot of money because customers can read through the lines and understand that you're not really taking the time to answer their questions and you're not really personalizing your interaction to accommodate their needs. So we've been starting to see a trend where the majority of our clients want us to go a little bit deeper when interacting with their consumers and eliminating scripts and using them as a support tool, but overall trying to be a little bit personable when and human when providing communication to their customers. And so that is one of the trends that we've seen over the past couple of months that's working a lot. And I think that the other trend that we have seen in terms of customer experience is also understanding how to leverage the latest technological tools that are out there to make your customer experience team more efficient. So it's not about replacing the customer experience team, it's about helping them leverage all of these technological tools and platforms to make the right decisions for the business and the right decisions for the customers. So we've seen a lot of interesting technological integrations happening over the past couple of months that have helped us make the different teams that we manage on behalf of our brands a little bit more efficient.
All right, sounds good. So personalization and an integration of technological services to enhance better decision making where customer experience is concerned.
Exactly.
All right. Now, could you also share with us what's one thing that's going on in your life right now that you're really excited about? It could be something you're working on to develop yourself or your people.
Yes, the company, we launched the company in late 2018, early 2019. So we've grown a lot over the past couple of years from a small team of 20 in 2020, in 2019 to almost 800 in 2022. Something that is really exciting is developing leaders within the company and making sure that they have the right support to grow within the organization. So we spent a lot of time on making sure that our culture remains intact despite the growth that we've experienced. And so we've implemented a lot of different interesting initiatives in place at the company to make sure that our leadership team understands how valuable they are to us as an organization and the importance that they have to carry the culture of our team overall within the company. So that is something that I'm really excited about, is to continue to develop the future leaders of Horatio and ensuring that they're all achieving their goals and their career path is moving forward in the right direction as the company continues to grow.
All right, excellent. Now, our listeners would have listened to this episode and they're quite intrigued with Horatio as well as your journey. If they would like to connect with you online, where can they find you online?
They can find us at hirehoratio.com, and then we also have the same handle for Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. That is at hirehoratio, and we're also on LinkedIn with the same handle, Hire Horatio.
Okay,
and something that is
go ahead.
HIRE, and then HORATIO.
Okay, perfect.
And something that I get along is a lot of people ask me, like, why Horatio? And Horatio was Hamlet's only trusted friend in Shakespeare. So we wanted to convey that message of trust and using a partner that you can really trust and rely on as you think about outsourcing your customer experience support.
That's I thought of it originally when your portfolio was presented to me to have you as a guest, and I said to myself, I wonder why the name Horatio. So I'm so happy that you decided to share that with us in the interview.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. All right. Now, before we wrap our episodes up, Jose, we always like to ask our guests, do you have a quote or a saying that during times of adversity or challenge, you'll tend to revert to this quote? It kind of helps to get you back on track or get you back refocused.
Yes. Keep calm and carry on.
Short and sweet.
Yes.
Keep calm and carry on. And could you share with us how that helps you to get back on track?
It just makes sure that I don't, lose sight of the big picture and stay positive in the midst of adversity and turmoil. I think it grounds me to understand the position I have at the company, to continue motivating the leaders within the company, and keep pushing towards the end goal that we have here at Horatio, which is to, number one, provide an amazing employee experience to our team members here on the ground, which in turn provides amazing customer experience for our customers, and we continue to deliver in that high quality that everyone expects from us.
All right, awesome. Keep calm and carry on. All right, well, thank you so much, Jose, for taking time out of your very busy schedule for hopping on this podcast today and basically sharing with us, emerging trends that are coming up in customer experience. What are some of the key performance indicators for you to ensure that you can retain and sustain a high customer satisfaction score? And even looking at response time, some of the things that are critical to ensure that your customers' expectations are exceeded and you do consistently deliver on that experience, that your customers become loyal and they'll walk and spread good news about your business. So we really appreciate all the wonderful information that you shared with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me today.
Just want to remind our listeners to hop on to Twitter if you want to follow us at Navigating CX, and you can feel free to join our private Facebook group, Navigating the Customer Experience Community. Until next time, I'm your host, Yannick Grant. We also have a new book available on Amazon, The ABCs of a Fantastic Customer Experience. It's available in ebook and paperback. So if you want to increase revenue in your organization, build a stronger service culture, and create employees or develop employees who are really mastering service delivery in your business, you need to grab a copy of this book. Until next time, I'm your host, Yannick Grant.
Thanks for listening. For more awesome resources to take your customer service game to another level, head over to navigatingthecustomerexperience.com. See you next time.